if you see me flipping my hair a lot or trying to fix it, it's because I feel like I'm a hot mess right now. I really feel like a hot mess. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. I was trying to do little housework, and I just, you know, so, and it gets hot when you get yourself moving. But yeah, enough about that. Enough about that. I'm just here to give a new testimony and see where it takes us today, or this evening actually. If you're on the or in the the central, south central, if you're in the central time zone, you're going on 6 o'clock here. Eastern Standard, it's almost 7. So, or wherever you're at, you know what I mean. It's been a busy day, and I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, I know you women out there who are married and have families, or you're single, or however, or you live with someone, you have all those priorities going on. You have to do the grocery shopping, carry the groceries in, put the groceries away, take care of the pets, feed them, take care of yourself, feed yourself. And if you have children, you gotta get them ready for dinner, or, or whatever is going on. You'll always have something going on. This is very true. I had a lot of that going on today. Went grocery shopping with my mother. I always help my mom with the grocery shopping. Bring the groceries in, put them away. I sat down, had my dinner. Now I'm here. Well, and I started doing some other things, but yeah, it's always something going on. So if you're a mom, single mom, or a working mom, or just a single lady living on her own, you have all those priorities. And I don't know about you men, though. And I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking the men here. However, there are single fathers out there who are the mom and the dad, and they have to do it all. That's just part of life, isn't it? How things can be, whether you're a single mom or a single dad, you have those priorities, and you have responsibilities, and you have to make sure everything is taken care of. So, and it can get overwhelming at times, but we have to remind ourselves not to feel so overwhelmed, and it's very hard to do. I don't know any person who's ever told me it was easy, ever. Um, I've never had it easy, even though there are days that I feel like I have it easy. But, you know, just a lot of things that are going on in my life right now, and all the changes that are going to be happening in the next 3 to 5 months. A lot of things are going to be changing. And I think that's why I want to come in and talk about is life changes. And if you're following me on my author's Facebook page, there I had posted a blog regarding life changes and how life has seemed to been moved a lot forward and a lot faster these days for me. A lot of things going on, and finding my meaningful purpose in this world. And that I actually want to share with you a little bit, my meaningful purpose. And we all have that. We all find it at different times in our lives. And I might have briefly talked about it before, but my meaningful purpose is to write books and give you folks out there hope in your life, because we all need hope. We all need faith, but sometimes it's hard to find that hope, and it's hard to find that faith. And it's challenging. It's very challenging, very difficult, no matter what situation you're put in, or circumstance that you're living with. It's hard. Like I said, life is not easy. I don't know anybody who has it easy, unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. If I'm sure you would know what I'm talking about. Um, you have to work. You have to provide for yourself or your family. You have to um, pay your bills, and and all those things that come with responsibility and priorities. And, that's how growth happens is with all that. So, and it just, I don't know. Am I making sense? Let me know if I'm making sense in all this, because sometimes I go back and forth on a topic or a subject. I get scatterbrained. So, if I'm off track, let me know. Post a comment below. I enjoy your comments. I really do. And I always reply to my comments in here. I don't have anybody doing that for me. I do all of that. But I was talking about, meaningful purpose and how every one of us has that. We just find it at different times in our lives. Well, I found mine. I found my meaningful purpose. I worked in retail for 20 years, and it became an issue over the past 6 years that led me up to rediscovery, pretty much, and where my career path is and my career, so to speak, and that is in my writing. So, and as a self-published author who doesn't make a lot of income, I have to find other ways to get my words and my books to you, and I do this through social media networking, and it can be a very helpful tool. It's an extremely helpful tool for self-published authors. So if you consider ever wanting to write your story or write a book or a story or whatever, not everybody can find that actual publisher to get your work published. I've heard of people getting that traditional publisher, getting the agent, marketing team, promotional team, and all of that. And that's wonderful. But self-published authors don't have that. And if they do get it, it's very little. And the income, like I said, it can go either way. You can work at it for years, or, it starts to take off after 2 or 3 years. And I've only been in this for 4 years now, I think. Yeah, 4 years now. And I've made very little income out of it. And I do everything that I can do to make sure that I get my words out to you and what I'm about and what my stories are about. And my stories are not, they're not just the sake of telling a story. These stories are told in my eyes and through my body and sensations and my feelings and thoughts. That's how I reach out to you, with the way I feel, rather than just telling a fable or a fairy tale. Everything that I've written, if you haven't had the chance to if you haven't had the chance to really get to know me, here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel here, and if you would like to, you can go to, there's a couple seasons that I did, which is titled The Life, Living, and Love of an Author. I had to stop myself for a second. It's called The Life, Living, and Love of an Author. And it was a web series I did for two seasons. And I pretty much talk about self-publishing and publishing, between the traditional publishing and self-publishing, pretty much, and getting your stories or your life story out there to the world. And there's a lot of work involved. But and then there's my backstory, a little bit on that too. I don't talk too much about it, but I have become a little more aware of certain things that I do want to talk about and not to talk about. So that is the gist. That is my meaningful purpose, is to give you hope in your life and let you know that no matter where life takes you, you're on a journey for a reason. You are in this world for a purpose. There is a meaningful purpose behind that. This is my meaningful purpose. And so I continue to expose myself to poetry contests or certain avenues that I can take to grow more as an author, as a published author, as an independent self-published author. And that's just where my heart is. And animals are another part of who I am. I love animals a lot. My best friend and her parents have had rescue pets over the years, and they make the best pets. Just, the love and the feeling that goes into having that animal who might have been abused once before, or just mistreated, and or has gone through medical issues or whatnot. Animals have illnesses just like us people, and they have disabilities just like us as well. And so animals are really, really just a huge part of my heart. And getting involved with community rescue shelters is probably one of the best things that I've done so far this year. And that's just where my heart is. And I might have mentioned that before in a previous testimony. This is just where I'm at in my life. And I feel blessed and able to do what I feel in my heart and in my soul. That's my passion. And just being that person who can always be able to listen to someone who might have a problem or an issue they just don't know how to get themselves out of. I'll give feedback, but I won't give advice. And I might have mentioned that before too. So anywho, that's pretty much my testimony for you, is that we all have a meaningful purpose in our lives, no matter the age. You could be, in your early 20s, you could be in your 80s or your 70s, and just still haven't found your meaningful purpose. We all have it. And I've heard of stories, real life stories from teenagers who found their meaningful purpose through missionary work, which is just incredibly insane, to say the least, and marvelous at the same time, because that's where their heart and their passion is. And they, travel to these countries and just all these amazing places to help people who don't have what we have. And I think a lot of people don't, either take it for granted or just don't appreciate it much, because there are people in other countries that don't have what we have. They don't have a roof over their head. Some of them live in little tiny huts. They don't have nothing that's fancy, or material objects. They don't have that stuff. Or they might not have the medicine that we have. So this is where I know some friends of mine, and very close friends of mine as well, who have done missionary work and have gone into these countries that have, take their time and their effort and their heart and their soul into giving to these people in these other countries. Granted, it might not be the safest for them. It's that risk that they're taking because they know that's in their heart and in their soul to do it. And when you find that meaningful purpose, it fills you up with complete joy and happiness. And this is my joy and my happiness, being with you and sharing with you these testimonies that I give you. There is hope in this world, and there is a way that you can get through it. I do not come in here and I do not talk about religion. I do not talk about Christian views. That's not what I do. I know a lot of people go really overboard with that, because maybe that's where they belong. Not everybody does. So you'll never see me push that ever. But that's just who I am as a human being. I have my flaws, my scars, my bruises, my imperfections. That's just me in a nutshell. And I can be very blunt, very honest when I need to be. And then there are moments where I just have to keep my mouth shut and show it in my facial expressions. That, one way or another, sometimes it gets me in trouble, or it follows me. But yeah. So if you are familiar with my previous 2 seasons of My True Colors, this is just basically me stripped down, raw. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I'm not the kind of person who fancies myself. I'm What you see is what you get for me. I do not sugarcoat anything. And if I get into talking about a certain topic, I want to make sure I have all the facts before I talk about this. And there's a lot of things I could say. Seriously, there's a lot of things I could say, but I'm not going to go there. And I don't want to start a debate or an argument with someone. That's just not me either. I don't like conflict. I don't like drama. And I don't like gossip. So just be aware of that you will not get that from me whatsoever. I'm not out there for this. I'm out here for you, and for you to be able to reach out to me whenever you can or when you feel like you need to. I don't force anybody to contact me. I did receive a comment from my previous testimony, I believe, and I was very flattered by that, and it was a wonderful compliment. And I want to thank this person. I don't remember her name, but it meant a lot. It really did. So feel free to leave comments below my each episode, each episode or an episode that you might be connected to somehow in one way or another. And I try not to make these too long. I don't want to bore anybody. I don't want to, I don't want you falling asleep on me or snoring, snoozing, closing your eyes. I like to keep it lighthearted and fun, and you're going to get that a lot this season. Yeah, I'm going to end it there. So if you want, you can find me on all social networks. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm still debating whether or not I want to return to Google+. I do have an account there. Not sure if I want to keep that account since I have so many other accounts out there floating around in social media. But you can find me on those main pages, which would be Facebook at The Real Shellie Palmer, Twitter at _Shellie_Palmer, kind of a mouthful there, Shellie Palmer on YouTube, not YouTube, I am on YouTube, the Instagram, it's just all lowercase Shellie Palmer. That's pretty much it. You will never see me ever on Snapchat. That's the one place you'll never see me. I don't understand that site. I don't have time for that. And it's just kind of stupid and silly. But, people are people, and you're going to do what you want. So, okay. So, and then my official website, which is, I got to remember now, if it's IamShelliePalmer.org or TheRealShelliePalmer.org. It's one of the two. So, I will have the links below in this in the description portion here, so you'll be able to connect with me in those ways. And if you find a time or a place that you want to speak to me privately, you can do that as well. Like I say, I'm not out there to cause controversy or attention in any other way. It's nice to receive that at times, but the recognition of it all is what I strive for, is that recognition and being able to be that voice on the other end for someone who might not be able to do this, or just not sure where to turn or who to turn to. And yeah, life is difficult. We have our challenges, we have our struggles, but in the end, we are here for a main reason, and we all have that meaningful purpose. Folks, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for always tuning in to these episodes. If you'd like, you can go back and you can see the first season that began in September of 2016, and then the second season that was last December all the way up through, I think, March or April of this year. So thank you all so much, and have a wonderful night.